Alright, so Harry Potter 1. It's a pretty simple game in theory to learn, but there's quite a few subtle little things that people should probably know. So I figured I'd make a tutorial for it. So yeah, let's just jump right in here. The first thing you should probably learn when trying to speedrun this game, after you've gotten it set up, is how to use debug mode. Debug mode is enabled by, at any time when you're in gameplay like this, you just type Harry debug mode on. Just type it out while in game, and you'll see the green text appear on the top like that. That enables you to do a couple of things. First of all, you can hit space to speed up cutscenes, like this. You can also use it to like use save states. So you can open up a command prompt with the tilde key and write, I believe it's save game, and then yeah, so it's, if you write the command save game and then a number, and then open save and then the corresponding number, you will save and load that file wherever it happened to be, so you can essentially use save states. Other useful things for it is you could technically use slow-mo, which is, the command is slow-mo, and then a number, so 0.5 would be half speed, like this. And 1.0 is full speed. You won't be using the command prompt that much, but it's useful to understand how to open it. The only other really good command for it is show all. That enables all triggers, so if you need to see where a trigger is, you can just enable it like this. Other than that, you can use your F buttons to warp around, so F5 will warp to predetermined spots. F4 and 3 and 2 will do the same thing, but they will always warp to the same spot. F7 disables debug mode, so when you want to do a run, use F7. F8 is to change the camera, how the camera acts. It's useful if you need to do a multitask, for example. I'm gonna go into what a multitask is, but that can help practicing that. So yeah, get used to the debug mode. It makes practicing and learning a lot easier. The last thing really about debug mode is when you have it enabled and you go to your main menu, you'll see these three buttons here. Language and credits doesn't matter, but level select has a quick warp to every area in the game, so you can easily go there. So
there was nothing about the starry sky that night to suggest that strange and
there's no way to skip or speed up the intro. Unfortunately, it takes roughly 3 minutes to finish completely. You can only speed it up during debug, but not in actual runs.
For the next 11 years, Harry lived until that fateful day. Hagrid took Harry to Diagon. Soon after, Harry caught the Dumbledore stood up.
Just gonna get through it.
Beneath the sorting hat. Not Slytherin, eh? You could be great. It's all you know. But if you're sure, Gryffindor.
Alright, so when this area loads, you want to hold back as the area loads from going from the
Welcome to Hogwarts
like the little cards with pictures and image and text over to actual gameplay. You want to hold backwards. The reason for that is because Harry will gain or have a backwalking animation when the area loads then. And for whatever reason in this game, if you have a backwalking animation when you start a cutscene, the camera in that cutscene will move a lot faster. So that won't affect all cutscenes, but some cutscenes have certain events happen based upon your camera speed, or camera movement rather. So the faster the camera is, the faster the cutscene plays. And in some cutscenes it saves us a considerable amount of time. It saves about 2 seconds to do it when this area loads first. Alright, last thing before I actually start showing you any of the run is the options. You need to set 2 inputs to each directional key. So I have 2 inputs to shift, or forward rather, 2 inputs to backwards, 2 to left, and 2 to right. The rest doesn't really matter, although if you want you can have inverted broom control on, doesn't matter. Turn off auto jump though. Have your texture detail on low. I'll get into why later. Same with color depth. Put that to 16 bits. Again, I'll go into that later. So now, since I have 2 inputs on both, or on all directionals, when I walk forwards or backwards, I'll always be using 2 inputs for both of them. That's because your actual speed doesn't go faster, but your acceleration is a lot faster, so it's not really noticeable, but it does make a difference throughout the run. It's very noticeable with turning though. Now I'm turning with 1 key, and now I'm turning with 2. So 1 key, 2, you can like see the noticeable change. So 1 key and 2. So just get used to having, or fat fingering some buttons. Like, it takes a while to get used to, but it's worth it in the long haul. Alright, this cutscene, there's nothing to do, just fully watch it, and then move over here.
Follow me, Harry.
Same with these cutscenes, you just gotta watch them.
Hello, Harry. As a first,
I'll see you later in Defense Against the Dark.
we go run to the above the bookcase.
Alright, so here is the first little trick in the run. This game's climbing is really weird, where you can see, like, if I just jump into the climb like that, he'll kind of get the animation started and then fly up and then back down, and when he lands, he starts the actual climb. That's pretty slow because, you know, he jumps up and then down and then climbs. And you can also run into it and he'll do this animation. That animation you will rarely ever, there's one exception, but other than that you will never want to see this animation right here, because it's the slowest climbing animation in the game. So what you want to do ideally here is run over, and then right before you're about to touch it, you want to jump. So like this. My bad. Like that. The reason for that is, as long as Harry jumps, he will always get this animation, the good one. And as long as he's underneath the actual ledge of the thing, he will not get this weird jumpy thing. He'll just instantly get into the grab. So, oh, my bad. Like that. So, whenever possible, you want to be able to do that. Then you just jump up this ledge. Here is a kind of similar thing, where you want to optimize your ledge grabs. Instead of climbing this thing, you want to, you want to climb the side here. So you want to run over, and then what I usually do is, just to make sure I don't, because he'll climb there, even if it doesn't seem like it. So what I'll usually do is I'll, like, turn a little, and then walk in, and then, like that. So get done fast, and, like, that's pretty slow. Something like that. Because that way is just slightly faster than climbing the bookcase. Then you run over here. You need to collect all the beans along the way. I forgot to mention that.
Well done. Run to the. If you meet, we'll take the shortcut and meet you there.
Alright, so here, first bookcase you just jump over to, like that. But the second one you want to kind of run with an angle like this, and then mid-air you want to let go forward and then hit to the side, so you hit the bean. Because then you're already facing the right way. Because what you want to optimize a lot in terms of movement is just turning, because turning is really slow in this game. So yeah, you want to do that for this, and then do the same kind of thing for this one. And as you see, right there, cutscene starts, and you can move in this cutscene.
That's Peeves.
So what you want to do is you want to try to run and grab. You want to try to run and grab the beans here, like this, and run over.
That's Peeves, the poltergeist.
Ideally you can grab the last bean there, but it doesn't matter really if you don't. The thing that's worth mentioning here is camera does not matter for Harry's movement at all. Forward will always make Harry go forward. Backwards will always make Harry go backwards. So, no matter where the camera is, You just need to care about where Harry's facing. Once you understand that and get a little used to it, it's not too difficult to move throughout this cutscene.
That's Peeves, the poltergeist.
If you fail to pick up this bean, or make any like large mistake, and then jump over like this,
Poltergeist. He's always
now Harry is stuck in the air,
Peeves doesn't like
and usually that means you're gonna fall down, which is really bad. You can save yourself though. If you mash jump, sometimes you can get a frame perfect jump out of it and still save yourself. But if you do fall down here, all you do is run over here, run up these sets of stairs here, and then you're back up. So one last time, make sure you optimize your turning as much as possible. Nice. If you make any significant mistake, don't go for the last jump, just kind of wait it out.
Peeves doesn't like
Better to wait it out than to
so
fall.
watch your step.
And then just continue on. Alright, so here's another cutscene skip. There's a cutscene here, A Friend George. It's roughly 30 seconds long. But what we can do to skip it is run over to the side here. And then it won't trigger here. It'll trigger when I get, yeah, there. But what we usually do is we run up here and then we jump. And then we try to land onto this. And then we hug the pillar. And then jump from this onto the next ledge. So like that, basically. Because if we simply land on here and then fall down, we have to get a ledge grab here, which is slightly slow. You want as few ledge grabs as possible. So basically just do that. Then you run around the pillar. Then you backwalk with double inputs back, very important when you go backwards. So you get all the beans here. Run over, and then you want to turn into this bean, and then backwalk to the pink bean here. Then you just run forwards. This is pretty straightforward, honestly, but yeah. Then here you want to kind of grab this bean and turn. And then as you're turning, you want to kind of line yourself up with, I believe that's Fred. And you want to run here and then jump right at the edge of the carpet, basically. That was a little late.
Thanks.
Because you want a ledge grab into the cutscene
We
like
need the
that.
beans for some
Because now I can move around.
experiments.
Normally, when you give them the beans here,
Thanks, Harry. We couldn't have
there's a
done
cutscene
that.
like this.
We need the beans for
So, just jump
Thanks, Harry.
onto his head. It takes a little bit of practice to get used to,
we need the
but
beans
yeah.
for some
Same thing here as before.
experiments.
Camera
What's a
doesn't
wizard
matter,
card for
it's
you?
only
You
forward and
found it?
backwards, compared to Harry's position and angle that matters. And ideally what you want is to be up by the door by the time it opens. So, you want to kind of walk, so you turn like this, then you'll be walking over here, so you want to turn a little bit more. If you hear a climb like that, that means you got it. His angle will always be straight on then, so all you do then is you hold forward and then you mash jump. So he'll be jumping up like that. And then when you get onto the top, when you know you're at the top, you want to hit back, just tap back like that. Because that technically sets Harry to his backwalk animation. And the reason you want to do that is because right here,
Thanks, Harry. We need the beans for
when they
some
show you the card,
Here's a wizard card for you. You've earned it.
right there, that camera movement actually matters for the cutscene speed, so you want that to take as long or little time as possible. And as I said, backwalking animation makes that, or makes camera movement faster.
Thanks.
So you want to kind of
We need
just
the beans for some
Yeah.
experiments.
just walk up there.
Here's a wizard card for you.
During the
You've
cutscene.
earned it.
So now I'm up, I hit back, cutscene is a little faster, and then I just run up the stairs. Try not to get stuck on the walls, which I did.
Well, I'm Drake.
Nothing fancy with this cutscene.
Let's go, boys.
Here's a very easy skip. There's a cutscene for Hermione here.
Hello, Harry.
We just run around it, like this. Nothing special.
Professor Quirrell. Today we'll
Alright, so spell learning is actually RNG, basically. Every dialogue line they say before and every dialogue line after each spell drawing is RNG. So that line I just got now was the best line. There's 2 lines for this one. Not gonna go over which lines are the best and the worst, because it doesn't really matter. You'll get used to it, you'll figure it out yourself as you go along. Just know that if you lose random time on these drawings, it's probably not your fault. It's most likely the game just giving you shit RNG. The only thing worth mentioning is that if you get 80+% on the drawing, you have a chance of getting a different set of lines, which is usually good. Although on Flipendo, you have also got the chance of getting the worst line possible, which loses a lot of time. So we usually don't get 80% on Flipendo. On the other ones, though, we try to get over 80%. Alright. Here, there's a little trick. It's not super important, but you can run here and like with about this angle into the wall. Try to hit roughly where this thing is standing up. You can kind of jump, so if you keep holding forward and jump like that, you'll get onto this little ledge, and then you can jump over this barrel. It saves 1 spell cast, so it'll look like this after the cutscene. Oh, my bad. Yeah, that little clip I got up there happens once in a while. If you mash jump, you can actually get a super jump off that. Super jumps is a very neat little glitch where you see right here on this ledge, there's a little pop up and pop down when I walk up and down it. That little warp there, like pop up and pop down, is actually a massive amount of speed. It's just you don't see it for more than a frame, so it just looks like a little pop. If you jump, though, in this game, you lose no speed. So whatever speed you have into a jump, you will always keep until you land. So if I jump right as I am... I'll show it the other way. If I jump right as I get this clip... Let's see. Like that. I get like a lot of speed into the jump. And as I said, I don't lose the speed until I land. So I can get some really far jumps. In most cases, it's just used for small movement optimizations. Like right here, you would do it. You wouldn't actually like try to do it multiple times. You'd just come here and you'd be like, oh, I didn't get it? Okay, I'll keep going. But if you do get it, you'll just get sent down into the cutscene early. So yeah, try to get that every time. Just hit your jump button right on the ledge. It's a frame perfect jump, so don't feel too bad if you miss it. Alright, here is... I'll actually show 2 variants of this trick. First of all is the basic one that most people use. It's the faster version. This pot is not usually high enough up to be able to reach this ledge. But as it so happens, when you shoot a pot, the hitbox for that goes higher. So now I can't jump on it because the hitbox is actually higher up. So I get onto it and then I shoot it. So I can lift it up like that. And now I can actually make it with a jump over here. So if you run off, jump at the last moment, and then at a certain time stop holding forward and hit right, or hit left rather, and you'll be able to make it onto here, like that. It takes quite a bit of practice in the beginning. It's not super easy, but once you like start getting it, it's one of the easier tricks in the game. If you don't like it though, what you can do is you can shoot the thing still, stand on it, go into your options menu, change your brightness, and you can see I floated up a little. If you do like that twice or something, you'll be higher up, and then you can just run forward and jump. So if you don't like the normal strat, just do that, but keep in mind it is slightly slower. Then you just shoot this thing, and then jump back down and run up here. Same thing here as before. There's a little ledge you can get here. You want to try to super jump it. Usually if you fail the first one, you'll land into the second ledge, which is right here. So you can try mashing jump when you land as well, and maybe get it. Again, just a small movement optimization, you don't need to do it.
Hello. Now, when you tap the game, you can all goodbye.
What I usually do after this cutscene, because I need to hit this switch here, is after the cutscene I'll just kind of tap to the right, and then hit. It's slightly awkward now because the cutscene isn't there, but just do like a little tap, and then spellcast, and you'll usually hit it. That one is kind of awkward to hit. The second switch is really easy. You just aim at it. It almost auto-aims perfectly. Aiming in this game just takes a lot of getting used to. Some things have really good aims on them, other things are just really difficult to aim at. So here you just keep following the road or path
Cast your flipendo
until you
spell
stumble
on
upon this guy.
block to knock it out of the way.
Then here you want to shoot this thing once, and then get what's called a hyper jump up here. There's a little slope, as you can see here. If you jump as you go up that slope, you'll get a lot more height to your jump, like that. So you can use that to get onto the thing without getting a ledge grab, and then you can jump from here over to this thing. So it'll look like this when done fast, like that. Same thing here. Shoot it once, run against the slope here, and then jump. I was at the top of the slope there, so I wasn't getting the boost. Jump. Try to make it over so you don't land on the thing. And then when you get over, you wanna do the same thing here. There's no walls, it's slightly less, or slightly harder, but just run up, jump, and then hold back immediately as you jump. If you don't, you'll get a lot. Oh, I didn't there. If you don't, you'll usually get a ledge grab like that, which is slow. So just jump and hold back so you get above the ledge, and then hold forward again, like that. Here there's two things you can do. You can do this. I believe it loses about 2 seconds. It's the intended way. Like that. Or you can just run over here to this little window. Jump onto the middle of the window, and then run and jump out of the window over here. It's kind of awkward because of the ceiling here at first, but once you get used to it and once you practice it, there's nothing really to it. It's just a jump. Alright, so when you run over here, this is actually one where I'll introduce boosting. This is the first boost of the run. And first off, I'll explain menu glitch. Menu glitch is, as you can see, the menu has several layers, I guess you could say. It's the first intro screen here, and then options, and you have the folio magi and stuff like that. If you go into your options, click and hold any of the sliders, unpause, and then let go of your mouse, and then repause again. Now when I click, my first screen will forever be the options menu. To cancel this glitch, what you want to do is you want to hit over to the side here, just click on the side. And now you can see it's back to the normal. Still has some remnants of the other one, but it's generally fine. So again, hold the slider, unpause, let go of mouse, repause, click. And the reason you want to do that is because of a certain glitch in this game, which in either a damage animation or a climbing animation, if you pause your game and then change your brightness and unpause, you boost up like that. And you can keep doing it as long as your animation is still going on. So you want to do it twice here to get up above the next ledge. So like, roughly twice. You can kind of make it out, or judge it when you do this last one if you need to do another one. And then you'll land up here. Here you just shoot the thing, and then you do another hyper jump here, which is a jump off a slope. You want to jump along the wall here to get a jump like that, and try to aim it up so you land onto here. This is to skip a ledge grab, essentially. Then you just shoot the switch. There's two methods you can do here. I'll show the easy one first. You jump over and you shoot the next switch as soon as possible. Then you just wait it out. Jump over. Then you wait it out here. I usually wait until I can see about half the next platform and then I go. Then I turn and I shoot the next switch as fast as possible. And then I just keep going like this. The harder method, it's not super difficult, but it is a lot harder, is to wait with shooting this switch. Jump over as soon as you can, shoot the switch, and then you want to do a jump over to this platform. And that essentially skips a cycle of these platforms, which saves a couple of seconds. There's a wall walk here as well. You can skip this next cycle a little bit, but I don't want to include that in this tutorial because it's more of an advanced strats. Beginners probably shouldn't use it. Just shoot this one so you can make it like that. You'll get a feel for the timing for that one. And then the final area here is just a couple of gnomes. Just kill this one first, run up, hit this one, and then this one. This guy will sometimes be running at you, that makes him easier to target. If he doesn't, you can still hit him pretty easily. Make sure you don't spellcast in here, because as you can see there's a cutscene here. If you spellcast in, the cutscene... Oh, I wasn't close enough. The cutscene goes away, so that softlocks your game and you cannot proceed. So make sure you don't do that.
You collected the rock back in their Gryffindor common room. Harry, Ron, and Hermione talked about.
I am your instructor. Control your.
Alright, broomstick is very straightforward. Hold space the entire time, except for one spot. I'll show you that in a second. And then just kind of hit all the rings. It's pretty difficult in the beginning, but you get used to it as you do more runs. It stops being difficult after a little while. The only thing you really need to worry about here is on the yellow rings.
These rings should challenge you.
So right here, if you slow down or let go of space a little here, you can make this turn a lot easier. You can do it without letting go of space, but it's very difficult. So I suggest letting go of space for like a split second, right there.
Let's try it with moving rings.
Moving rings is probably the most forgiving rings, because they actually move into you sometimes, even if you miss them. So that's pretty neat.
Well done, Mr. Potter.
Alright. That's all there is to flying, really. It's just hit the rings. Other than stopping for that little time there, it's nothing else to it. So this is the Wingardium Leviosa area, but you're gonna learn Alohomora first. And the only thing I need to mention about that, really, is if you get a glitch on your Alohomora every run where you don't get the percentage you think you'll get, you get like around 15 to 20% no matter how good you draw. That is a known glitch, and the only way we know how to fix it is to either hit F1, or open up your game again, rather, or pause. Pause is the easiest method. So just pause your game, minimize it, and then maximize it again. And then unpause. That will fix the glitch. I have that glitch, and I have to do that every run. Most people do not have the glitch, though. On the first drawing here, you want to ideally get over 80%, because then you have a chance at a good line. If you don't, you're always gonna get a shitty line here.
Marv, great, Harry. Practice makes perfect.
And then fail the next drawing, because there's no point in doing anymore.
What was that? Now you try that door in front of you.
Alright.
You've got it.
Here's just kind of go through these areas. It's pretty simple. Just shoot the bouquets,
If you're done admiring
go into the next cutscene.
Harry, take a look at that magical chest. Cast Alahomora to
The only thing to mention here is that there is a strat outside of this door right here, and it's the hardest strat in the game, currently. And basically what you need to do is you need to super jump here. Let's see if we can get it. And as I said, super jumps is frame perfect. And you only get one chance at this. Like that. Then you want to jump over Hermione, and then into the next cutscene.
Welcome, young
And you saw that little flicker right there?
and today you will learn
That
the
means I got it.
levitation
That means
spell
Hermione's
Wingardium
cutscene and the
Leviosa.
Flitwick cutscene played at the same time, which means I have movement in this cutscene now, as you can see.
You may now enter the Wingardium.
And the reason that's important is because of a skip we can do for the spell learning here. So let me get it again. Apparently I'm really bad at this now. Right. Maybe I hit the save book earlier. That's just a super jump, so there's nothing to explain there other than what I've already explained about super jumps.
Try the bookcase.
Okay, yeah. So the way to
Welcome, young
do this
wizard.
is
I am Professor Flitwick,
you want to walk
today
forward and
you will
stand
learn
about
the
here.
levitation spell Wingardium You may
And
now
right
enter
as
the
he
Wingardium
says
Leviosa
Wingardium
challenge to
and starts
observe
Leviosa,
spell
you want to hit the trigger that I
Wingardium
just hit.
Leviosa
So
when I stop, hold down the mouse button and
Try the bookcase.
welcome.
you want to
young
stand right in
wizard.
front of the
I am
trigger, so
Professor
just stand about where I
and
am
today
standing.
You will learn the levitation spell
here-ish.
You may now enter
And then
the
enter it as he
Wingardium
starts
Leviosa
saying
challenge
Leviosa.
to practice the spell. Follow me, Mr.
Then
Potter.
he'll walk into the next room and you'll still be facing the spell drawing. If the camera follows him, you were too early into the next cutscene. Then you want to just draw the W, make sure you don't fail it.
Wingardium Leviosa on that statue.
And then
move it onto that large plate.
what's going on here is Harry is actually in the next room currently, while I'm doing the spell drawing. So I have movement of Harry in the next room, and there's a Wingardium block in the next room. So ideally what I want to do is I want to turn Harry in such a way that he's facing the Wingardium block, and then spellcast at the Wingardium block, which will fix my camera. So I'll try to do that now. Like that.
A dazzling effort,
And then I
Mr.
just
Potter.
let go of the spell. So now I have camera movement in this area,
Let's
like this.
continue with the lesson, Mr. Potter.
Then here I have to do another spell drawing because I got the first one. I just want to fail this one, so I just spellcast. And I want to aim at the block, so when I spellcast, I actually hit the block, and then I just put it on here.
Well done. Now go and collect the challenge stars. I'll
And
meet you at
then
the
just
end.
see the
Good luck,
cutscene through.
Mr. Potter.
And now I can start moving in the challenge. What this will look like if you don't glitch it is basically, if you don't get the super jump, you wanna just, of course I got the super jump.
Charms class is through this door.
She'll be like, Charms classes through this door, and then
Welcome.
you'll
young
get the
wizard.
standard, like,
Observe the correct Wingardium
spell drawing here.
Leviosa levitation when I stop, hold down the mouse button and follow the pattern, then release the button.
so just try to get over 80 on the first one.
That fine. Let's continue with
And
the
fail the
lesson,
next
Mr.
one.
Potter. An irregular version of the spell won't work, Mr. Potter. You may now enter the Wingardium.
And then he'll take you to the next room, and then you just place the block. So the faster method saves roughly 40 seconds over this, but it's quite a lot harder, so
Mr. Potter.
don't feel too bad if you don't get it. But you should try to go for it every run. Here is another small skip. We jump onto this pot here, and then we jump over the railing. Like that. What you can do if you feel that jump is too hard, you can just shoot the pot. As I said, that increases the height of the pot, the collision. So yeah, you could do that if you think it's too difficult. Then there's a trick here where you want to stand kind of close, but not all the way in between like the middle of the gate here. Hit this Wingardium block. You want to turn while the spell is traveling, so like turn like that. And then you want to move the block over Harry's head, so try to get it like directly above Harry's head like this. If you fail it, it'll pop in a different direction like this, but what you want is to get it through the fence, so like that. That skips having to open the gate and it's a little bit faster. You cannot do it on this side though. So you want to just, you know, open the gate like that. So that's just move the block and shoot the switch behind it. Can shoot the gnome as well, he's annoying. Do that if you want. Then you just place this next block. Right here, there's a small super jump you can get. It doesn't save much, but again, it's one of those small movement things you should go for every run, just in case. Don't actually go back and forth like this, just try it once, and if you don't get it, just keep moving forward. As you turn this corner, you want to try to hit the Wingardium block early, and then move it onto the switch. The switch is behind there. Now there's several strats to finish the area fast here, but the one I usually use and the one I'd suggest for beginners is to jump up here. So you jump onto this little thing, then you jump onto here, and then onto here. Get close to the edge, turn around and hit this block. And then you want to place it on and then turn around as much as you can basically, and then you want to jump onto this thing and jump over here. It's not a very tight cycle to make, but it can be a little tricky in the beginning, so just kind of get a feel for it. Then you run over, stop before you see, if you see the dark area here in the actual doorway, stop before then, and then spellcast, like right here-ish. That deloads the cutscene, so there's no cutscene here anymore. And then you just walk over and through the door. Then here you just go through the first few cutscenes. Don't hit the letter, because it's a small time loss. Then you want to run over here, kind of hug the wall here. Get over to the pot. And we're gonna do what is called a wall clip, which means clipping onto this pot. So you want to run over, face the wall, and then jump and side hop into the, like hit left into the pot. Then you walk back into the corner, turn, make sure Harry has like a almost straight angle onto the thing, but more this way than an actual straight angle. Then you jump and hit left. If you didn't get it, and you're too close to the edge, just walk back into the corner. Line up the angle again, and then... that's the fight we want to skip. So you want to get about a straight angle and then jump on here. Really? Alright, like that. Then after this, make sure you jump off it. Don't walk off it, jump off it. You want to run over to this opening over here. So you want to run over, jump. And then what I usually do here, because we're gonna actually fight Peeves, even though we just skipped them, we're gonna fight them. So if you see this line that goes along the floor here, from like the little tiles, if I'll try to follow it there. Like there's a triangle here that goes up to a shadow, and then there's a little line that goes straight across here. I usually line Harry's feet up with that, so like I stand around here. Then I aim up at Peeves. And then I just start back walking. Then when I get here, this pot, I want to line up so I'm walking about, like, I want to turn so like I'm going kind of parallel to the pot here. And then when I keep going here, I'll be turned by Peeves, so I'll be facing roughly this direction. If I'm facing too much here, I'll usually do like a little side thing here. Try to show that. So I'll line up with the pot there. Right, I'm a little bit, so I'll go a little to the side, and then I'm in the cutscene now. And he'll throw and hit me. Since he hit me in the cutscene, I actually gain movement, so I walk down into the next cutscene. And because I have two cutscenes playing at the same time, then I get to move in that cutscene. That drops a letter, so I can move during the letter now, because I'm in the cutscene and the letter cutscene. And the letter is actually cancelled with spacebar, so if you look at the letter now, when I hit spacebar, it goes away like that. So, again, move roughly like this to be able to get hit by Peeves. Make sure you're hit after Harry stops moving, if not, it will not work. So then you immediately walk down into the next cutscene, and then make sure you hit the letter. So now I have the letter stored. I walk into here, and I want to wait until Harry stops moving completely. Now I've stopped moving, so I want to hit spacebar now. That gives me complete movement in this cutscene. So what I want to go or do, I need to set that up because I need an audio clue. But basically, they're gonna stop me at some point in that cutscene. And what I want to do is I want to wait to a specific point, and then I want to spellcast to regain movement again. So again, walk from cutscene to cutscene, get the letter. Don't hit space yet, wait until he stops moving. Wait until they say, okay, so they'll stop you from moving, and then they'll say, you better watch your step around here, Potter, or something like that. The important words in that is step and around. You want to hit or spellcast at around. If you go earlier, the next cutscene skip will not work. If you go later, you just won't make it to the cutscene. So, do it at around. It's a very, very simple cue and very easy to hit cue, but you need to know about it. So, after that, you just run into the Malfoy cutscene. And if you did everything properly, Harry will turn and you can start moving around in this cutscene. And then you just run out of the castle. So it's basically just a long string of cutscene skips.
Harry, over here. Hello, Harry. Campbell, your friend dropped round for tea later. After
so here is basically just normal gameplay. You just run to Hermione cutscene here.
I'll let you go on, Harry. You better get to the lesson.
And at that point, this point, you should have the menu glitch already, because you set it up in Flipendo. I didn't because I messed it up when I reloaded my game earlier. So you want to run over here, and as I said, you can do a boost of a damage as well, but you can't just run into it and damage and then boost. Because as you see, you got like a very tiny boost and then nothing else. You want to jump into it, like that. You can boost a lot more. So what you want to do here is you want to run so that Harry's kind of facing with his back towards this thing, the wall, and then jump into a snail. It's like they're in kind of awkward positions right now. Like that. So now, I'm kind of facing my back towards the wall, and the snail has hit me while I'm jumping. So I need to boost about 3 or 4 times. And that gets me up to the invisible collision up here. So what I do here, the collision is actually not from the railings, it's the entire thing. So the entire river has got the collision above it. So I've got quite a lot of room to move here. Then I want to jump over to the next one, which is here. And from here I just jump onto the gate like that. And that skips the entire gate area there. Then here it's a very similar thing. You want to run over to this, turn so you are facing about this way, and then backwalk, because there's a little plant here. And you want to take damage while jumping into it. So, take damage while jumping into it. Then just boost like that. Yeah. So now you're on here, then you just kind of move along. The railings up here don't have collision, so don't worry about those. Then walk along this railing, and then fall down here. Then here, it's very important that you do not go through any of the other archways. So don't go through here, because there's a cutscene. Only go through the very rightmost one here, and then go into the door.
Welcome, class. I am Professor Sprout. Observe today we're learning.
Same thing here as all the other spell drawings. Try your best to get 80 plus. If you don't, it's not a big deal. And then on the second one, fail.
That's good fun. Let's continue with the lesson, Mr. Puffer. Whatever the spell is you're attempting, it's not incendio. Now it's time for the incendio trap. Those are spiky bushes.
Here you just want to shoot the rightmost bush and then the switch. You don't need to deal with the other bush. Then you just kill the gnomes. There's a small little optimizations you can do here by jumping onto the beaten gnomes, like that. It's a tiny bit. Alright, so as I mentioned earlier, it hasn't really come up much yet, but cutscenes in this game work like... If I walk into this cutscene now, the camera will move slow. But if I back walk into this cutscene, the camera will move a lot faster, as you can see. But there's a little trick you can do where you walk forward with a back walk animation like this. And the way to do that is you want to let go of your movement, and then you want to tap back, and then you want to hit back and then forward. Back and then double forward, rather. So tap back and then back double forward. So like that, because that still counts as having a backwalk into a cutscene or having the backwalk animation.
This is a typical species of venomous
so that speeds up that cutscene by about a second, so it's worth doing. This guy right here, when you shoot him, there's a cutscene. So you want to shoot him right before he's about to attack. So like right there, while standing in front of him. So he hits me after the cutscene starts, and I can move in the cutscene. If you shoot him too early, let's see. If you shoot him too early, he'll just die. If you shoot him too late, that wasn't too late. He'll hit you, but you won't move, so you need to time it kind of well. Then you just run. Again, camera movement doesn't matter, only Harry's position and angle matters, so don't care about the camera there. Then you just open this door. Here you want to just kind of zigzag through these guys. It's not too important. Here you want to walk off this ledge, so you get a ledge grab. Pause. And then do 2 or 3 boosts, so you get up here. And then you want to kind of try to squeeze through here. Don't have an angle like this, because you'll ledge grab. You want to be more facing the tree than the ledge. It's like more of this angle. And then try to land onto the red platform down there. So like that. And then you just keep going. Now the easy way to do this room is basically shoot the first gnome. The reason for that is we have something right now called the Doxy Storage. Doxy Storage is, for whatever reason in this game, when there's a Doxy that's chasing Harry, he can spellcast regardless of actually targeting something. So, since we left those 2 Doxies alive in the previous room, we have Doxy Storage. They're still chasing Harry. So by hitting that gnome, I'll actually be storing Flipendo. So now the last spell I used was Flipendo. And so I can walk over here, stand in between the two last things here. Basically stand where I'm standing. It's hard to explain. And then you want to turn, and then since you have Flipendo stored, you don't need to actually target the switch. You just kind of cast at it like that. So let me do that again. Oh, if you do get a ledge grab, just climb it and then fall down. Oh, Worth mentioning, if you are low on health and you see a save book, just run into it, it'll give you half health. Same with loading zones, will also give you half health. So, health isn't a big issue in this game. Alright, so I'll run up here. I will hit this gnome. And then before the other gnomes and stuff get here, I'll be hitting the switch. If I'm not bad. Like that. The other gnomes will hit me, so I can backwalk in this cutscene. Again, backwalking animation speeds up the camera. And then I just backwalk against the door until it opens and I can go through. Here, just hit this switch, and then keep going. Fastest way to do this room is to hit this flower or plant, run against this thing, against this thing, and then aim at the button while you're running, and then just turn and run back. So, hit the thing, hug the little wall. When you're close enough, you want to flipendo. Aiming at that thing can be a little tricky sometimes, but it's not too bad. Alright, here's another room with a multitask. What you want to do for this one is you want to kill the flower, and then hit this block away from the switch, so the switch is open. Then you kill this flower, and then you do the same thing here. Then now you want to hit the switch, and then turn and hit this switch quickly as well. So you get both cutscenes at the same time, and you can move during them. Because double cutscenes in this game will usually give you movement during the cutscene. Same with ledge grabs during cutscenes or getting hit during cutscenes. All of those give movement during them. Make sure to kill this plant because it's annoying. Here's another boost. This one is done by... You want to run against... Go away. You want to jump up here and then have a very angled jump into this ledge. So Harry won't be like grabbing the actual ledge, he'll be bringing the ledge grab with him, per se. So like that. Wait until it fully lands, pause. Then you want to just start boosting. Sometimes you'll make it all the way up there, other times you won't. It's easier with what's called F button boosting, but I'll go over that in a separate tutorial, I think. Along with the more detailed explanation of boosting. If you don't make it all the way up there, what you want to do is just ledge grab this, and then do a couple of boosts to get up. If you did make it all the way up, you land there, which is good enough to hit this button. So just hit the button and then try to fall down during the cutscene. I kind of failed it, but not too badly. Hit this plant because he's annoying. Then you want to run over here. You want to run, like, kind of go in here and then turn towards the plant and jump into it. And then pause. Then you want to do 3 or 4 boosts to get up here. And then just jump over here. Hit this button and then jump down. Here you only need to hit this switch 4 times. You do not need to hit all 4 switches, as long as you're fast when you hit them. Oh, yeah, apparently not. Just kind of mash 4 spellcasts on them, and eventually the door will open. You can get a super jump here off this fountain. It brings you into the hallway here. Normally here, the door will, like, seemingly close as the cutscene starts like this, but the trigger is actually a little away from the cutscene, so what we can do is we can actually walk until the door closes, and then walk over to the side here. And the loading zone to exit the area is actually right here, so that skips the cutscene. So just kind of be careful when you walk towards that cutscene, make sure you make the door close, but don't actually trigger the cutscene. Here is another example of a hyper jump, to skip Hagrid's cutscene here. You want to jump up this slope right here, and land on top of this bush. And the easiest way to do it really is to jump like at the very peak, and kind of turn Harry a little bit right as you jump, and then hit left during the entire jump. It's a really tricky one, and it takes a little practice when you get used to it, but once you understand it and once you start getting a feel for it, it becomes really easy. Just like a lot of other things in this game. After you land up here, you want to jump down onto this one, and then up to this next one, ideally, but I fell down. Then just run into the cutscene.
Here comes Ned. Please help. So long. I think I'll. Think you can catch me? Give me water, and you better watch out for my blood.
Malfoy's pretty easy. Just try to catch up with him. Cut as many corners as you can. Then you just kind of stay on top of him until he gets hit 4 times. And then you hit your right mouse button to knock him off. There's not much to that fight.
You've got my remember. Come here, Trevor. I remember now.
Mr. Potter, although I do not ordinarily... Harry, see you then.
Alright, so... now the path to Forest Edge is open. And we can go in here. We actually skipped the entire area here. With something called a Superman boost. And a Superman boost is basically done by abusing the fact that ledge grabs are kind of crappy in this game. Like, not all of them grab like that, but some grab like that. So when you get here, you want to stand about in the middle here, between the grass and the stone in the middle. And then you want to aim about at the corner and then run forward. Let go forward after you jump. If you have a good angle then, I do not. You can, after you get above the ledge, you want to hit forward again. So you get a sliding animation or sliding grab there. Do a couple of boosts before you land. Like 3 is what I usually do. Wait until he lands. Once Harry lands, he'll start turning. Do 1 boost during this turn. That actually extends the turn a little. And now you see my angle is like the other way, so I can start boosting. And a side effect of extending his turn like that is that he will be slanted as well, so I boost forward instead of upwards. So I can actually boost to the end of that area. Then I just enter here. When the next area loads, hold back. That saves roughly 3 seconds, because the cutscene moves faster because of the camera.
Welcome to my home. Now I can show you it's the egg. I can't leave it, Harry. I need to be careful though. They're spitting fire and the seeds are.
Alright.
Let them cool down before you pick them up.
This area right here is kind of interesting. There's not a cutscene right now. And as soon as I go through this gate, the gate will close. So like, the gate is closed. And right here is the trigger to make the there we go. Trying to do a super jump here. Apparently I can't cheat. But right here is a trigger in this area. It's a trigger to make the cutscene for the final cutscene of the area actually spawn over by the hut. And normally you can't go back out, but what we can do is we can do a damage boost here off the pixie, or doxy rather. So I stand roughly here, jump right before it hits me. Then I do a couple of boosts so I got out of bounds like that, and then I just run down. And as I said, now the cutscene is here.
Great work,
Sometimes the
Harry.
pixie will follow, or doxy will follow me here and hit me in the cutscene to give me movement. Then I just need to avoid the doxy for the entirety of this cutscene, but if not, I can just wait here. And this is actually about a 2-minute wait. The reason for that is because Hagrid is still inside his hut. He has not been spawned into the outside area yet. Because we're not supposed to have finished the area yet. So we just have to wait patiently until the game actually just forces Hagrid to spawn here instead of actually trying to move him here. Which, as I said, takes roughly 2 minutes. So after about 2 minutes of this, Hagrid will spawn in. I'm speeding it up so it'll be less than 2 minutes here. And should be any second. There we go. So now I can move again. And then I want to backhook into the next cutscene. Again, that's to speed it up.
Go ahead and put them in the fire, Harry. You've done it. Here come plans, Harry. If we'd best get ready for... we'd better give North...
Welcome to it's Gryffindor. Those each watch out for the blood. Gryffindor's new to John. So remember, first of all.
Alright, Quidditch is very simple. All you do is you follow the snitch, stay close to it. The easiest way to stay close to it is to slow down, like catch up to it and then like keep slowing down, because it's pretty slow. The little bar at the bottom here will fill up. And when it's full, it'll switch to this. And you'll see the thing, it'll move back and forth. When it's over the hand and the hand is open like this, you can grab the snitch.
Come on, Harry.
So you just wait until it's there. And you grab it with the jump key, which is usually your right mouse button.
Potter's done it. Gryffindor have beaten Slytherin. Well
On the
done,
load of the
Harry.
next area, again, hold back. It's about a second faster than not holding back.
Signing off.
And it costs you nothing, so might as well.
Harry Potter, the
So here, hold back.
Ron and I heard strange noises.
Then you want to just kind of follow Hermione here.
Come up to the third
She'll
floor
disappear
and
around the corner, but it's pretty self-explanatory where you need to go here. Just keep going up. There's a cutscene of Fred and George here. You can technically skip it, but it's ridiculously difficult and it's kind of just a YOLO trick. It is very vital that you bump into this guy, because the "please stop that guy" is a meme and we need to trigger that meme every time. There is no benefit to it other than he's a dick and he needs to be bumped into. Alright, so here you can walk on the railing, it's slightly faster than walking around it. This next cutscene skip is actually pretty precise, but once you understand it and once you've done it a few times, it's not too bad. You want to walk... The pillar here is the queue, so the step right underneath the pillar is what I usually look at. I want to have almost all of Harry on top of the stairs, like right now. Then I want to face the wall, tap back, tap forward. I was a little too close. Oops. So I want to be roughly here. Then tap back, tap forwards. That clips me out from the wall. Usually you're clipped into wall a little, if not. Then if you look at the scar, the little diagonal line at the very bottom of the scar, I want to line the left side of that up with the little wooden thing here. Like this, the line on the wooden thing. If you see. And then I just jump and hold forward. And if you do it properly, Harry will pop up here. So get up here and then like that. Line up the little scar here with the wall. And then I jump and hold forward. And then if you do it properly, he'll pop up here. Then you just jump over and run into the classroom. As soon as you get in here though, you want to run behind Ron and into this corner. Face the wall and jump and hit left into the thing. Run back into the corner completely. And then again, you want to turn, same as Peeves, so that you're almost parallel with the wall, but not quite. And then you jump and hit left. And after a couple of jumps, you should clip up. If not, go back into the corner and line it up again. And then when you do it, you want to jump onto here and then run onto this guy's head to get a little super jump. And then just enter the trigger that's right there. That skips the spell learning. Alright, Lumos is pretty simple.
Lumos hold down the mouse button.
Just shoot this thing here.
That's quite bright, isn't it? Now you can cross the chasm.
Run in. You want to hit these two buttons.
Up.
I usually look at the tile that I'm standing on right now. I always go onto here and then I shoot both the buttons. The reason is, from this tile, it's very easy to hit them both without any problem. Then I run over, kind of peek in and shoot this gargoyle. And then I want to backwalk. All gargoyle cutscenes you want to backwalk into. There's not a single one really that you don't want to do that. Other than the very first one that we, like in the previous room here. So, any gargoyle cutscene you want to backwalk into because it's entirely based on the camera movement. Here you want to do the same thing, shoot it, and then backwalk with or walk forwards with a backwalk animation, like I mentioned in the Incendio segment. After this cutscene, you want to just hit double forward and double left. And then right before you hit the platform, you want to jump. So you get like a little slidey grab like that. Then you do a couple of boosts, and you're up here. Then again, you just kind of follow the path here. So you can see all the camera movement in the gargoyle statue is pretty fast because I am backwalk into them, or have the backwalk animation into them. Here, as soon as you turn the corner, you can spellcast. Then you just walk over a little more, hit the switch. And then you want to backwalk as... Oh, I'm not close enough. You want to backwalk as soon as you hit the spellcast the gargoyle. And turn a little. And then you want to, as fast as you can, run over to this platform here. This is slightly awkward, but you want to be able to do a slidey ledge grab away from the platform. Like that. And then boost up. Like that. Until you're about in the middle of the ceiling, and then you drop down onto here. The reason you need to do a slidey ledge grab there is because this little ceiling here will block you if not. So you need to be past the ceiling to be able to do it. Then here you just run past the star, make sure you don't hit the star, because that starts a Peeves fight. Grab the save book, because there's no reason not to, and you're about to do a couple of dumb jumps. Here you can actually make this... Yeah, that's why you grab the save book. Here you can actually make this pretty easily. Into a ledge grab here. So you skip the Lumos statue. Then you just run down here. You can get a super jump on this staircase like that, and the next one. I failed the second one, but I got the first one. Again, those are... you don't want to try to go for them more than once. Then you get a ledge grab here. Do a couple of boosts until you get up, and you want to... after you get all the way up there... after you get all the way up there, you want to hit forwards and right. So you land onto this invisible platform right here. It's decently big, but it's not super big, but as long as you get used to it, it's not too bad. Then after you do that, just jump over here, and you want to spellcast towards the edge of the second table here. Usually you'll have Doxy storage here. I don't know why I don't currently. But yeah, you'll usually have Doxy storage here. So you have Lumos, and you cast Lumos over there. Should be fine. Okay, so now I've deloaded the cutscene. The reason you cast over here is to, first of all, deload the cutscene, and second of all, hit the loading zone that's over here. You can hit it with a spell. If you miss it, just run over and hit it. Then you want to go down here. After this cutscene, just hold double right and mash your jump, and then as soon as you jump, just hit forward. Oh, I fucked it up. Snape has no face. Alright, so after the cutscene, you want to run forward and hyper jump onto the cauldron. It's slightly faster than running around.
That must be dissonant.
Then whatever you do here doesn't matter.
Snape tricked me.
So here you want to grab this ledge right here, do 2 or 3 boosts, so you land onto the little thing here, and then you jump over here. That skips the little puzzle.
From what Amani told me.
Shoot this as early as you can. You have more than enough time to make it over. And then run up here. This next boost is optional. But I can suggest doing it if you are comfortable with boosting. Basically, jump onto here, turn around, shoot the switch, turn around, ledge grab the platform, and then boost all the way up, and then just jump over. If you don't want to do that though, just as soon as you come over here, just shoot the thing, and then you wait. Like that. So those are the two methods you can do there. For this, you want to jump over to the platform and shoot the gate, and then turn around and shoot the switch behind you. And then almost as soon as it starts moving, you can make the jump over here. Shoot the switch as soon as you land on this next thing here, turn around, shoot the gate before you jump over to the moving platform. And here you want to kind of jump around the corner and land on the next platform. Just saves a little bit of movement, so like this. Your jump is a lot further because you're on a moving platform, and that extends your jump a little. So again, shoot the gate, turn around, shoot the switch. Wait a little, and then you jump over to the area here.
Oh no.
Just avoid this guy.
Baron.
He's not a big deal. Right here, the easiest way to deal with these gnomes is shoot this guy as soon as you can. When you come around here, normally this guy's gonna start moving. But if you shoot him before he starts moving, that's not an issue, like that. This guy will not move. Neither will this guy. This guy has already moved, so he's not an issue, and this guy has already moved as well. So if you do that, they'll always be in the same spots, and it's always easy to deal with them.
Looks like Quidditch Park.
Here, just place the switch, or the blocks on the switches. You want to hit the left switch first, then the right one, and then the last one. You can clip the block into the cage, but it's pretty specific, and I don't suggest anyone doing it as a beginner. When this next area loads, hold forward, so you move off like that. The reason is these things will move into the wall if you don't, and that's pretty bad. Now there's two ways you can go through this area. I do suggest doing the boost. If you don't like it for whatever reason, just run all the way up and go through normally. It's pretty self-explanatory how to do that. The boost is done by getting on the ledge here. Get a ledge grab. As soon as his right leg is basically on the ledge like that, you want to do 7 boosts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I was a little late on the... You want to not go late on the boost, or on the beginning of the boost. So one is moving up like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. And as soon as I unpause for the 7th, I will hold back and right. And then land on top of this. This is why this boost is kind of tricky, because you need to land on top of this, but it's very easy once you actually understand how. And once you start timing your boosts properly. Then you just jump over here. Then you run in here. There's a button on the wall. And same here. Just hit the button and then run. Jump as late as you can here. Land onto the platform. Jump as late as you can. You make the ledge grab. That is a very, very easy cycle to make. It seems scary, but it isn't. Then right here, there's another optional boost you can do. You hit the Lumos, you wait a little bit, and then you jump over and get a ledge grab there. Then you do a couple of boosts, so you land onto this platform, and then you jump over. If not, what you'll do is you just normally land on the platform, and then you wait for it to move back with you. Which is slightly slow. I believe it's like 3 seconds slower. Here, you just jump down. Wait, I usually wait until the next block is roughly between the save book and the platform before jumping over, so like right now. And then I'll just keep moving forward and jump. And I'll make it without any ledge grabs. Again, just avoid the Bloody Baron here. He's kind of pointless. When you fall down, make sure you land on top of this block. Go all the way over to this side of it, and then target it. That'll hit it even though you're on top of it. Then you want to jump over here. Do 2 or 3 boosts. And then land on here. And then you can super jump off this ledge. Again, that's another one you do one attempt of. If you miss it, you keep going.
Late again. I see you've collected. I've ended the lesson without you.
Harry!
Alright.
She needs our help. We must try to rescue her straight away.
If you have decent movement here, Ron will be an idiot and run into the wall. Troll is pretty easy once you get used to the inverted controls. Left goes right and right goes left compared to Harry. This is the only instance where the camera is actually the thing that matters. So just follow the beans here. At the bottom of each staircase you can actually get a super jump. You want to go for the first one but not the second one, because if you go for the second one you'll void. So that's the first one right there. If you jump at the very bottom of the staircase, frame perfectly, you get a super jump. Another one you try to go for every run. That one you don't want to do because you void on these pits if you do it. So yeah, again, just follow the beans. Pretty simple. Nothing too crazy. The way to fight this troll is, as much as you can, you want to shoot it while it's already in his hands, because then you have full control of it. As long as you hit it, then he has no chance of hitting Ron. But the only thing you need to do is make sure Ron doesn't get hit here. So do your best to hit whatever he's throwing at you. You can hit it while it's in the air as well, but the best thing, as I said, is to hit it before he throws it, which gets harder and harder progressively throughout the fight. Each hit that gets placed on Ron, so if Ron gets hit, it loses roughly 10 seconds. So, obviously you ideally do not want that to happen. There we go.
I think, come on, let's get out.
Exhausted from their encounter, Harry suspected.
Then there's another Quidditch match here. This one is the exact same as the first one, so I'm not gonna explain too much about it. The only thing I can mention about Quidditch is it's not RNG where the snitch moves, so once you learn the pattern, it's very, very easy to keep up with. Another thing is, if Harry gets hit while stretching for the snitch, he'll get into a kind of flying/sliding thing, which there's nothing to do about it really. If it happens, it sucks, but can't really be avoided other than not getting hit.
My name's Lee Jordan, signing off.
Thanks to Harry's.
Right, so this next section is actually the hardest section in the game,
There was a note.
but it's also one of the more fun sections if you know how to do it.
Norbert safely bundled up.
Right as you start moving here, you want to hit double forward and right, and then kind of jump past them like that. First room is really easy. Here, as soon as you go through the room, Filch will start moving, and you can hit the first switch here before him. Like, kind of like that. No, not like that. No, you can hit it past him like that. It saves about a second to do compared to what I just did there. Backwalk into this cutscene. As soon as you hit the switch, head back, so you get the backwalk animation, because it speeds up the cutscene and saves time.
Where is he?
So here, what I do is, I'll round the corner here, and then I'll hit the switch and turn. And the way Filch works is, he cannot really hear you unless you're jumping on carpet. So you can't, if you're on carpet, you're fine. However, if you're on hardwood, he'll hear you. So right now I'm on hardwood, and I'll run past him so he runs after me. Now I'm on the carpet so he won't hear me, so I can just run around him and then go to the door. That skips having to wait for him to move. Right here, you want to run over, hit the door, get onto the hardwood here on the corner, hit the switch, turn and hit the backhook animation. For all of these cutscenes, you want the backhook animation. Then you just run away from him like this. Do a hyper jump on here. Fail it, but you can make it up without a ledge grab. Then you run over to this switch. Again, backhook into it. Very fast for these. This is the trickiest thing in this room. So you want to jump down and land in front of him. As I said, if you're jumping, he can hear you on soft or on carpet. So you want to jump down in front of him and then backhook like that. And he'll be an idiot standing there. And then right after you do that... Oh, sometimes he'll follow you if you're not careful.
Where is he?
Then you want to jump over here, shoot the door as fast as you can, shoot the switch, and then hit the backhook animation. If you don't hit the switch the first try, stop. Just wait. Wait until he moves, because you will get caught if not. If you miss the door once or twice, that's fine. And then after this, you want to just run over here again.
You regret it.
There's two strats here you can do. The fastest one is to jump onto this little thing. You can't just jump directly onto it though, you need to jump to the side and then into it. Like, kind of like this. And then you can jump over and hit the switch. The easier method though is to jump from here over to this bookcase, and then just over here and get a climb. It's up to you whether you want to do the easier, fast way. Then you just run over here, hit the switch. Again, make sure you backhook in all of these cutscenes. It's actually a crazy amount of time you save from doing that. So here it's the exact same thing. You can either do the easy way, or you can jump onto this. I won't go into the hard strat in this room. I'll probably make a separate tutorial for it, but the easy way here is to get onto this, get a ledge grab here, boost all the way up, hit this gargoyle and fall down during the animation or cutscene. Fall all the way back down. Then you get a ledge grab off this, a slidey one. Then you boost all the way up here. Like so. And then now the platform is here, so you can just jump over. Here you just walk onto this platform, don't jump. Jump into the ledge grab here. And then you walk off the platform here. Then you want to get a ledge grab on this platform right here. And then just boost up high enough so you can make it onto this little platform. Here you want to have a backhook animation again, so stop before you get in, tap back, and then back and forward. Like that.
Ron's brother Charlie had arranged.
Here, run up here, and then jump back onto the railing. Back and left. So, like this. Back and left. And then you just run past them. Then you want to get kind of behind the wall here and then shoot the door. And you can run through. That skips a decently long cutscene.
Aha! I've heard you'll not get past me now, you rotten little...
Alright, there's two methods to do this. The easy way is to run here and then run around this bookcase. Filch will follow you, and you can just run like this.
Wherever you are.
The slightly harder but still easy way is to do this though. This is the faster method. So like run around them like that. Here, make sure you do the double or walk forward with backhook animation into this cutscene.
Intruder!
Saves a couple of seconds. Alright, so you want to walk just past him here and then jump onto the table. I usually stand in the middle of the two tables, completely in the middle here. Then I look at the books. I line up with the third big book on the middle shelf. Oh, hi Norris. What you want to essentially do here is you want to jump along the little candle here, so it pushes you up a little. That was a super jump. And with the right angle, which is slightly off like this, you'll get a ledge grab because of it. Like that. And then you just run over and jump to this corner. Then you climb this. I usually get a slidey ledge grab so I get over to this candle. That's to get my position correct every time. Line up around here, run forward, jump, let go of forward and hit double right. So like that. That gets me around the corner and I don't get a ledge grab from it. Then just do a hyper jump there to get over the railing. Hyper jump being jump up the slope. Enter this with a backhook animation.
Reflected at Harry's stare, he was startled. So you went on to explain, but that it was the mirror of Erised, but prepared for what?
The filthy whelps gave us the slip.
Alright, so here, just kind of keep going. Worth mentioning, there's no autosave at this point. Our last autosave was at the tower, so if you want to grab the save book, that is entirely fine. If not, you'll lose like 10 minutes when if you get caught. Here you want to jump and grab the bookshelf over here. Wait until Harry's right leg is on the bookshelf and then do one boost. Then boost you onto the railing. Enter this cutscene with the backhooking animation, which I didn't there, but yeah, saves about a second if you do it. Alright, so here you want to jump down to the left side first. Walk until about here, look at the stripes to see where you need to be, and then backhook out. Make sure you're past the pillar. Norris will come back there now. And then you do the same thing on this side. Walk in until about the stripe on the floor that I'm at now. Move the block onto the switch. Backhook out. Then you want to do the other one on this side. That. And then the last one is actually kind of important. What do you need to do? You need to walk away from the area fast enough or far enough so that the Peeves thing will trigger, Peeves cutscene will trigger, but not so far that you're actually in danger of getting caught by Nora. So you don't wanna be like out here. You wanna be roughly like here. I usually use this dark tile right here to know where I need to be. So I stop right at the beginning of it like this. So I walk in here. Then I backhook out and I stop roughly where I pointed out on the dark tile, like that. And then right here, there, you can see there's a cutscene playing that shouldn't play. Now I have multitask. I'll usually try to line up a flipendo on the pots during the cutscene. It's not super important if you don't get it. Just wait the cutscene. Hit the pot over there. Norris will move. This one is very important to enter with the backhook animation. It saves actual seconds, like 10 seconds or something. Make sure you don't go forward here, because that will trigger a cutscene. Make sure you go around the pillar on this side, like this. And then you skip the Friend George cutscene there. Then you just run downstairs and you're done with the Filch section. They tease another one, but it doesn't actually happen.
Hermione run into Harry. No wonder Hermione suspected that the package Hagrid had taken from Gringotts contained the Sorcerer's Stone. It was the Sorcerer's Stone that was down the Forbidden Corridor, being guarded by...
Snape's been next, but there's no...
But Dumbledore, that must mean that tonight's the night.
What about...
We'll just have to take our chances.
Alright, so
It looks like Phil. Come on, let's go.
here you just kind of follow the hallway. There's nothing too important until the end of it.
This way, Harry.
You'll need to kind of get a feel for where the cutscene is here, but you can kind of see like the way the floor changes here. It's right before then, so you want to go about here and then you want to do the... That saves about 8 seconds in this cutscene.
But we've got to go on, Harry.
The way you beat Fluffy is you go in front of each head and you blow the flute. You need to go from slowest to fastest, so... The heads are RNG. There's one slow, one semi-slow, and one fast. You want to go from slowest to fastest. So...
Do be careful.
That's fastest, second fastest, and that's slowest. So I want to go from this one first. If you get hit like that, just immediately hit the flute again. It cancels the animation of getting hit. Then again, second fastest. And then fastest. Like that. Walk over here, because this is close to where Harry needs to be anyways. And then you just wait for the next area to load.
Come on, Harry.
Devil Snare is extremely simple. As soon as it starts, just jump to the right and start hitting Hermione. Try hitting Ron and Hermione as much as possible and not the actual vines. If you hit the vines though, it doesn't matter too much. I believe it takes 4 or 5 hits per character to get them down. Like that.
This way, Harry.
This is exactly the same as all the other Quidditch sections. Again, just kind of learn the pattern of the key. Learn how it moves when it turns and all that. And past that, it's not very complicated. Am I gonna get the double Harry?
Well done, Harry. Let's see where this leads.
Almost. Alright. So this area is actually one of the harder areas in the end game. And the reason for that is chest cutscene skip. Right here, you want to jump up at the middle, like, in the middle of this big step, you want to jump onto the railing. Like this. Then you want to line up so Harry's head is touching the, like, the corner here. Like, the left side of Harry's head is touching the corner. Then you want to run forward, and before you run off the slope, you want to jump. So you get a hyper jump like that. Then you want to, during your jump, hit right. Like that. And if you do it properly, with that angle and that position, you'll land onto this little thing. When you're on here, you just jump. And hit forward. And you'll get onto this, then you just... Oops. So you get up here. Then you just run onto the thing, so you're all the way on. Run onto this thing. And then from here you want to jump onto the invisible wall on the other side here. And then you want to jump up here. This is another invisible wall. And then run over and jump onto this white tile here. And that starts chess without starting or playing the cutscene. And what you want to do for chess is basically go along this diagonal white line here. That's the fastest way to beat chess. So just keep going along the diagonal line.
Come on, let's go.
Here you can do some nice jumps if you want. It saves a little bit of time, but not much, because you need to wait for Hermione anyways. Walk here and then turn.
Be careful, Harry.
And then jump before you get onto the steps. If you jump too late like I did there, you'll get like a very short jump like that. But jump before you get on the steps, and you'll easily make it over. Then you want to backwalk into this corner, and you want to line up so you're facing the. If you see these pillars here, this is the first pillar. This is the second pillar. You want to line up at the second pillar or like in the middle of the two, basically. So like that, and then you just run forward and jump like that. And if you did it properly, you land on this wall. Then you just jump off it like that. And here, jump on this railing and then onto the next railing. That skips a small cutscene. These jumps seem difficult, but they're very lenient. Before entering this cutscene, you want to shoot this block 3 times. And then just enter the cutscene. I will not show Voldemort cutscene skip in this guide. I'll make a separate guide for it. But yeah, just move the block basically like I'm doing now. You can move it slightly less, but it's a little bit more tricky. Quirrell's attacks and movements work like this. He will, if he can't see you, so if you're behind the block, he will use Flipendo to try to move the block. If he can see you, he will try to use Avada or the Killing Curse. If he uses the Killing Curse, he will only use it once. The first time. The next time he will use it twice, and then next time after that he'll use it 4 or 5 times. Unless he interrupts it with a Flipendo. So it's very easy to know when he's gonna start machine gunning, as it were. But yeah, just boost up here and enter the cutscene.
You will not succeed again.
If you're very low on health, grab the save book to get to half, and then grab the frogs. I'm fine though, so I'm just gonna grab 3 frogs. Grab the save book. Backwalk animation into this cutscene. To speed it up a little bit. And then you want to hold forward during the entire cutscene here. The reason is for right here, where right here, you skip a little bit of his line there, where he's like, give me the stone, because you're holding forward. Because you have a little bit of movement, and you move into the area. Alright, so Voldemort works this way. On the first phase, which is half his health, he will alternate between being in front of a pillar and not in front of a pillar. He'll start off being in front of a pillar. When he is in front of a pillar, you can hit him with a pillar instead of the mirror, and it's slightly faster. So you want to alternate and use that as much as you can. So move over to this pillar, wait until he hits it, and then Flipendo. Then you want to move here, so he stops in front of the mirror. Walk behind, so he shoots himself. Then walk behind this pillar. Shoot it after he shoots it. Do the same thing on this side, so he walks far enough to where... Because his movement is based on yours, basically. Now his health is half, so he's gonna start doing... He's gonna start doing alternations between... spells that can damage him and spells that only damage you. The spells that only damage you will follow you wherever you go. So what you need to do on the first one is go behind this little thing here. And wait until he shoots it. Then you walk over here so he doesn't move too much. Oh, rip. Ideally you don't want to take damage there, but I'll explain what happens if you take damage there. So now he's behind the mirror and he's shooting spells that can damage him. He's gonna hit himself. While he's getting up, I want to go over to him like this. Wait until I get hit. Spellcast. The reason I spellcast is to make sure I don't get a knockback animation, so I don't get moved away from him. Because I need to stand there until he gets kind of locked into his position. Then I want to move over behind the mirror again. Let him hit himself. Normally now you could just keep doing this until he dies, but since I took an extra hit on accident, I need to not take an extra hit, because, yeah. So I'm gonna just stand behind here once more. And then walk over, take the last hit. And then that's the speed run. As soon as you see his health bar go down on the last hit, your run is over, and congratulations, you've finished the run of this game. So, hopefully this helped. I know it was kind of all over the place, and I'm bad at explaining, but hopefully I explained some stuff at least properly. If you still have any questions, feel free to join the Harry Potter Discord. I will link that in the description below.
So naturally, the whole school
Or you can follow me on Twitch and ask questions there. I will link that as well, and I'll link my own Discord as well in the description, so you can ask questions there if you want.
Dumbledore nodded, sharing his concern.